You want to know why I'm like super just in general of why I'm so bullish about crypto is yesterday was my youngest son's 8th birthday, and I asked him what he wanted, and he wanted digital currency for his Hot Wheels game that he plays on the iPhone. And I was like, no, I'm not buying you like Hot Wheels, in-app money. But that's like what he wants. I was like, you don't want like want like a basketball or, it's like, no, he wants digital currency. So that's I mean, you can't like watch kids grow up in this generation and not just think Bitcoin's inevitable, with the rest of the market.
I think that's a really nice introduction for everyone watching. But yeah, welcome everyone. So this is actually on the Stakes YouTube channel. I'm Liam from Confident in Crypto. You'll probably know me on Twitter as L1AM Crypto. And I'm joined today, and excuse my pronunciation of your second name, but it's Jonathan Caras. Is that pronounced correctly?
It's close enough. It's Caras. I've heard all the different pronunciations. It means fisherman in Greek or Ukrainian or something like that.
Brilliant, lovely. I'll try and remember that, but I have a habit of getting everyone's name wrong. I think Jack Zampolin.
Sure.
I think I introduced him as Jack Zampolin, even though I've been told.
Yeah. Close enough.
Close enough. Yeah, that's the main thing, right? But yeah, so we'll talk about Levana Protocol today. We'll talk a bit about Sei Network as well, or Sei Network, should I say? And if I'm correct, you're the founder of Levana, is that right?
No, so it's funny. So Levana was actually created by an incubator that called the Delphi Labs. So they created 3 different projects focused on Terra. So the first was Astroport, the second was Mars, and the third is Levana. So unfortunately, I can't take the mantle of founder, but I'm probably I probably spend the most amount of hours a day working on the project. I'm a head of communications, so I get to do things like come on all the YouTube channels and speak at the conferences. But we've got a great team of about 8 full-time people that have been in the space. Some of us actually, even before me, I got into crypto in 2016, and some of the guys have been here since 2014.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, 2014 is pretty early as well as it goes. Yeah, I was 2017 in the space like a tool. So yeah, that's pretty impressive. I was just going to ask quickly, actually. Yeah, obviously Delphi Labs, Astroport, Mars, and Levana, are there still like close synergies between the 3, or have they kind of moved off into their own direction? So do you think there's still a lot of
so our cohort is finished, and so Delphi has a new cohort that they are working on, but we have shared a lot of resources, a lot of just engineering resources, economic resources, like planning, like token economics and security and node infrastructure and things like that. So it's a very close and warm relationship, and we touch base with the Astroport and Mars team on a regular basis.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. I just had a random thought that maybe there should be a Delphi Labs index of all these tokens.
That is interesting. That is interesting. And I mean, they were very influential in the previous cycle with like Axie Infinity, and a bunch of other really successful projects as well. I think that they are the most talented crypto people in the whole industry. And I've met, over the past 7 years that I've been here, I've met literally hundreds of builders in the space, and the team that they put together is just in a league of its own.
Yeah, how like much do you value teams when like approaching tokens and investment? Because I've started to really like think the teams are super important when it comes to like successes.
Well, I think you have to look at it as, I mean, there's 2 different angles. One is like, are you just looking for a trade? And then probably marketing and hype is more important than actual delivery. But if you're looking for something that's like long-term, so then you really have to take kind of like a VC mindset and really look at all of these projects as like early stage startups in a sense. And so then it's just all about the team. You know, things get hard. Nothing works the way that it should. There's always different, needs that a project will be pulled in different directions. You're always subject to the will of the overarching market, the macro, and there's huge tech risk. There's huge regulatory risk. There's huge even personal risk. And one of the things that's kind of is a challenge is like a lot of early stage projects can exit before the project really can be successful. And so you'll see a lot of early stage contributors to projects not kind of stick around either when the going gets tough or when there's some type of like exit or mini exit. And that's where we get a lot of the rug pulls, and we get a lot of like it's very hard to pivot in crypto. We at Levana, we've had to pivot. We had a whole GameFi angle. We had an options trading platform, back, before the crash of May last year, and we had to pivot out of all of those just from lack of resources and basically the market kind of like drying up. It's very hard to build those things today, and so then it's also about how do you maintain your community? How do you kind of do right with the people that really believed in you kind of going forward? So these are hard questions that it's a lot of teams, there's no kind of right way to do it. So that's really where you're kind of betting on the team itself, is that how are they going to pull through when the going gets tough?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of insight there. I'm looking forward to watching that bit back as well and taking some notes for my own personal approach. You mentioned community though, and I think it's a good segue into our time in Paris. So for everyone watching, me and Jonathan met in Paris, Osmocon, and that was really, really awesome. There was lots of really cool people there. Sonny was there, the whole Osmosis team was there, which was great. And yeah, you brought your daughter there as well. She was fantastic on the booth, by the way. I think she did an amazing job. So I just wanted to touch on Osmocon really for the people that weren't there. How did you find it yourself?
I was in Paris for a week, and I feel like I went to 100 events during that week. I think Osmocon was the highest quality event in terms of the quality of the people and the intellectualism and integrity behind the lectures, and just in terms of good vibes and fun. I think that one of the things that attracted me to Osmosis, and I know has attracted a lot of the other members of the Levana team, is that Osmosis really has kind of like a playful attitude. And I think that really comes and is led by Sonny. Sonny was in a foam Flash, superhero outfit. And, it was very important for him that there was funky hats, there was the boxing, there was all kinds of elements that just made the event entertaining, and alongside the educational and networking elements.
Yeah, I mean, the boxing was great, actually. I totally forgot about that till you mentioned it. It is really fun. And, that's not the first outfit either, the Flash outfit that Sonny's wore to an event. So I totally agree. And I think that's really important for the cultural aspect of any project or any community. And I think it's something you guys did well, Levana, with the card game, kind of getting everyone involved, networking, talking with each other. So yeah, for those people who don't know, I took this game extremely seriously.
And you won.
Yeah.
You beat the other team by 3 minutes.
Yeah, really? Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that close in the end. But I was pretty nervous when I was speaking with people. They had quite a lot of the cards. So yeah, we well, it was one card. Like I needed one card for about 10 minutes and just could not find it anywhere. And then, yeah, luckily the Nolus guys from Nolus came through with the card that we needed to.
Yeah, that's amazing. So if you're listening and you weren't at Osmocon, so what we did is we created 44 different multiverse Levana Dragon and Osmosis scientist cards, which are actually right behind you, Liam. And so we created these cards and we numbered them. We created them with Midjourney, and they're stickers. So they're actually laptop stickers. And we created around 2,000 of the cards, which, I have to thank my wife and daughter. We sat up the night before we flew to Paris, and it took us like 6 hours to like cut all those cards out. So it was pretty ridiculous. And then we packaged them into kind of Pokemon style, card cases, and we distributed them at our booth. And then we had a prize of 1,000 Osmo for whoever could get the complete set. And we encouraged everybody to break up into teams, and that because really the only way to get the cards was to go to people, ask them if they had the cards, trade cards with them, and then really team up. And we wanted to see from a game theory perspective if people would try and win as individuals, just through by, hook or by crook, or, stealing, purchasing cards off of each other. And there were some people that played that way, and they lost. And your approach, which I was so impressed with, was that you kind of opened it up to everybody, invited people to be on your team. You had a huge following around you. Everybody contributed the cards, and you came out as the winner.
Yeah, and it was funny because like the first cards that we get, I think it was like 5 in a pack, right? And it was me and Litbit from Notional, and we rock, paper, scissors for all 5. So if I hadn't won that, this whole thing probably wouldn't have even happened. But you're right, it's collaboration, I think, is much more powerful than solo kind of competing, especially in this kind of game. And also I think in where we are in the space right now, there's a lot of collaboration needed to kind of break out as a ecosystem in Cosmos, but also just as a crypto space in general. Obviously competition is great as well, but yeah, I think it demonstrates the power of that. And I don't want to get too much into it, right? But I think this is also how nature works. There's so much more collaboration than we realize. It's not just natural selection. It's not just competition between individuals. There's a lot of collaborative relationships just between fungi and plants, for example.
I was watching. I follow a lot of Twitter posters about. It's like little 2-minute clips from nature documentaries, and so they come up pretty frequently on my feed. And I was watching actually this morning about there's a tarantula in the Amazon that will adopt baby pet frogs, after they grow from tadpoles, and it will catch flies and then feed it to it, and it essentially the frog becomes its pet in every sense of the word, and the frog will actually sleep under the tarantula's belly, and what it does is it eats the ants that attack the tarantula's feet, because the tarantula can't battle the ants when they attack in hordes, but the frog can just eat them. It's easy. So they have this symbiotic relationship where they can really support each other, and that's actually leads directly into what we're doing at Levana, because we took a very similar approach, that there's really 3 different market participants when it comes to perpetual or leverage trading. There's liquidity providers, there's long traders, and there's short traders. And in most platforms, perpetual swap platforms, there's the fear of insolvency, where the platform can actually go into debt. And so that creates almost like a prisoner's dilemma of the 3 different market participants, where they they benefit mostly by hurting each other. And so that's why you see in the last market cycle, and in many cases, if you look at the history of perpetual finance or Drift or Mango Market, or MCDEX, and a number of these different platforms. I think it's even there's even GMX has struggled with this, is that you end up with this game theory where different participants are actually battling with each other. And what Levana has done with its well-funded model is to try and create a symbiotic relationship between these three market participants to help encourage to kind of treat the perpetual swap as like a living organism that will just naturally grow over time, and that as more traders come in, it encourages more LPs, and as more LPs come in, then it encourages larger traders, and people who want to go market neutral end up supporting the people, end up lowering the risk for LPs, and end up reducing the fees for directional traders. So there was a lot of game theory that went into the actual underlying design of the math. And we have Delphi to thank for a lot of that, and some amazing people on the Levana team as well.
Have you found this play out in real time? Because I was looking at some of the stats, and there's already a lot of activity that's happened on Levana, right? I think it was like 18 million in trade volume, something like
that was just
in 24 hours.
We just broke 20 million. So today is our 1 month anniversary of being on Osmosis. We went live with no password or anything like that on the 16th of August, or 16th, I apologize, of July. So we just have had 30 days, or maybe it's 31 days. And we just passed $20 million of trading volume. And we've been, pretty aggressive about keeping it tight. We launched initially where traders could only trade with $100 of capital. And then we've slowly increased that. And we launched with $100,000 of LP deposits, and we've increased that. We've got about, I think at about $700,000 between the three markets that are live, which is the Osmo pool, the BTC pool, and the Atom pool. And the Atom pool really has, pulled the weight, so to speak. It's been the most popular product that we've released. And we've the numbers just in terms of unique traders is pretty low. It's about 400 unique traders, but the actual volume and fees are very high. And I think that that's a testament to the soundness of the economic design and security features that Levana has put in place.
Speaking of security, I know you've had multiple audits, I believe, on the application, right? So you're taking that quite seriously from the sounds of things.
Yes, we had an audit with FIO, FYEO. We had an audit with PeckShield. We're currently in an economic audit with where PeckShield and FIO really come to attack the code to make sure that the code doesn't have exploits. That if you deposit into a liquidity pool, somebody else from a different wallet can't withdraw it, things like that.
Yeah.
But there's also attack vectors, which have nothing to do with code. Really, they have to do with economic design. And so we found I actually met in Barcelona maybe about 4 months ago, this team called 3 Sigma, which really focus on economic design attacks as one of their value providers to the space. And so they've been working now for about 5 weeks on just going over all of the math in the white paper, running simulations, really trying to break it from the economic perspective. And then we will be launching a bug bounty with Immunify that will have various tiered rewards that if you can attack the network and drain LPs, drain collateral from traders, force liquidations, things like that, then you will actually, you'll be able to benefit with pretty lucrative rewards as a white hat hacker. So we're extremely paranoid, and we, please God, will not lose a bunch of money in the contracts. And the best way to do that is just continuously focus on paranoia and bringing in experts to help you.
Totally. And obviously we'll talk about Sei Network, or Sei Network, sorry, a bit later. But are you audited separately for Sei Network? And yeah, how is that looking?
So both Osmosis and Sei run the CosmWasm 1.0 virtual machine. So the same code will be deployed to Sei, which is currently live on Osmosis. And we've been running that on Osmosis testnet for over 6 months, and now for about 5 months on the Sei testnet as well.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, so very, very secure then in that case, assuming obviously all the audits caught everything. But the bug bounty is like a good way to get everything else that's maybe missed in the audits right. So that sounds really, really good. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the application. And also you were saying about the symbiosis between participants. So in terms of the application, have you seen like that symbiosis play out how you expected in the game theory? Or are you seeing like something different happen between, the shorters, the people going long, the people looking at the delta and all of this?
So absolutely. So we are, so I'll share my screen. That might be helpful here.
Yeah.
And I will, I'll show you here. So this is the Osmosis build, which has, it's obviously running on Osmosis, and you can connect with your Kepler wallet or your Leap wallet. We've got a really great mobile version with the Leap wallet for iOS and Android, so I highly recommend trying that. So we, just to walk through some of the functionality. So you first decide which market, and we have a Bitcoin market and Osmo market, and we'll be launching in about half an hour actually with the Sei version with the Ethereum market. And you start out by, once you've selected which market that you want to trade on, then you select long or short positions. And then we don't use stable coins. And there's, a lot of math behind why we collateralize things with, you're both long and short trading with Atom token or ETH or Bitcoin. And rest assured, even when you're going, a lot of people have said like, well, how can I be going short if I deposited Atom? So the math works out. So you will end up profiting, even though your collateral was in Atom, when you're short. So you select long or short. You select market, which means that you want to open your position at the current price, or you can open with a limit order where you can say, open my position in the future when when the price passes a certain price. Then we've got on the Atom pool, you can leverage up to 30x, and you can say, how much collateral that you want to put in. You have to make sure that your collateral is on the right network. So if you're trading on Sei, make sure that you've bridged your assets to Sei. If you're trading on Osmosis, make sure that you've bridged to Osmosis. And then you'll set your limit price. You'll set a take profit price. And we actually allow you to financially benefit, that we offer lower fees if you include a take profit price at a lower point. And then you have a stop loss where you want to, as long as this is above your liquidation level, then the position will automatically close, so you won't lose your shirt. And then once you've opened a position, you'll be able to see if it's a limit order. You'll be able to see it in the pending orders or in the open orders. And you can click on your order to edit if you want to edit any of these, like your collateral, your leverage, your take profit, or add a stop loss. So that's pretty much how to use it. And all of this doesn't use any off-chain or order book or anything like that. It's all on chain. and which is just part of kind of like from a philosophy perspective. And what you had asked about, to be able, now that we're familiar a little bit with how the platform works, if we come into the the option, like let's say like the Osmo pool, so we can see a few different things. We can see the total trading, and the Osmo pool. It's not as popular obviously as some of the Atom pool, but we can see some very interesting numbers here. We can see how many dollars are currently in open interest to long positions. So we see here there's about 60,000 for long positions, and then 30,000 for short positions. And then because of this symbiotic relationship, is that if you are contributing to the most popular side or the more popular side, then you actually pay a per block fee from the popular side to the less popular side. And this encourages people to come and take the balance, because perpetuals, the more balanced they are, the more secured they are. And so you can see now that longs are paying 61% APR, and shorts are receiving, that's what the negative side here, they're receiving 117% APR to hold these short positions. And this, over the past 4 weeks, we've seen these fees successfully defend a balance between the longs and the shorts over long term, which has allowed for LPs really to be able to consistently earn. And we can just see here some of the real, and this is all real yields APR, and this fluctuates. These are real-time rewards paid out on each on each siloed mark, on each siloed market. So for example, today we're getting, if you have bonded LPs, then you're earning about over 300 APR. If you have non-bonded, you're earning over 200 APR. That's on the Atom market, and this will fluctuate. Yesterday when trading was lower, it was as low as like 60% APR, but because of the high volume, because of the high volatility, there was a huge jump, and so then the real yields paid to the LPs has jumped. So I expect that we'll see this over the next couple of days, kind of like, trickle back down to like, 60, 70% APR. And we're also seeing it, 50% APR for Bitcoin. And then even the Osmo markets are at 35, 36 APRs. So again, the more risk that LPs are exposed to, the higher their APRs get. And then
when you're saying like real yield, by the way, you're talking about there's no like incentives being like distributed out to these like yields. These are actually yields generated from the use of the protocol.
Exactly.
For the application, sorry.
So Levana Levana has full intention to launch a token, and so there will be sweeteners, but we've really designed the ecosystem and the platform that yield farming of Levana governance tokens is really just a sweetener. The system is designed to be economically sound, with zero sum, just being paid between long and shorts balancing each other, and then long and shorts incentivizing through free market exposure to LPs. So all of the numbers that you're seeing here have nothing to do with any hyperinflation or anything like that. It's just if you're an LP or you're taking the unpopular side, then you'll either be earning Atom or BTC or Osmo. And then as we open up new markets like the ETH market, which will launch in about half an hour. So all of this will be real yield rewards.
Yes, this makes sense. This is what I thought when I was looking at the stats page, and sorry, the earn page. But yeah, I wanted to clarify that because that's actually a pretty good yield for people without any hyperinflationary tokens coming in. I mean, there's probably some risks as well, of course, involved.
Well, absolutely, yeah. There is there is really non-trivial yields that are. There's non-trivial risk that you as an LP are covered for. You're covering the actual leverage that is being borrowed by the traders, and in the case of an unbalanced market, which you can actually check here, like I'll show you when you click on earn and then you click on manage. And then if you look here, you can see the delta neutrality. So the farther away that the delta neutrality is from zero, the more risk that the LPs are taking. And in really a very fast, very rapid earnings from traders can cause LPs from actually losing both portions of their principal and their earnings. So there's no way in any market to be able to get risk-free high rewards. And so the natural balance of this symbiotic relationship really ensures that when there's a gap in LPs, then the cost of capital becomes increased until LPs are incentivized to be able to provide the liquidity in order to ensure that there's enough liquidity to be able to solve the trading needs of traders, both long and short.
However, from like a protocol standpoint, the fact that there is this yield and this like activity, I guess, as well from the trading side, without those incentives, that's actually a real positive. So that sounds really, really good. But let's talk about Sei Network or Sei Network. I'll get it right one time when I pronounce it. But you said there's a couple of things that interested me, actually. You said that you'll be launching an ETH market on Sei, and by the time people watch this market should already be live. So quick question firstly, which is how come you chose ETH on Sei, and will you have the same markets on two different chains, or will you kind of go after different markets on Sei compared to say Osmosis?
So it's a great it's a great question. We're interested in serving the needs of traders, regardless of what their interests are. At the same time, we want to make sure that we incentivize the levers that are needed. In order to be able to create that kind of symbiotic relationship between liquidity providers, long traders, and short traders. So we'd like for unique, twists of trading, and there probably will be overlap. The same as, like, for example, if you look at Aave is both on many different layer 2s on Ethereum, and it's also on the mainnet of Ethereum itself. With an overlap of different types of lending platforms that are expressed within Polygon and Avalanche and all the other layer 2s. But at the same time, we want to focus, as we're an early project, that we can simplify where the most compelling trading platforms. And we think that there's a real competition with the with Wormhole, and we're looking at the Wormhole ecosystem. It looks like the most active trading asset is Ethereum. And so because of that, there will be incentives to trade. And actually, we will have a yield, kind of like a bonus, that when people come and trade on the Sei ecosystem, on Ethereum and other other markets that we will launch on. So we will actually be rewarding people for the activity of trading on Sei. And so that will come as as not real yield, but as a bonus. And so because of that, so you'll have real yield fees, plus in addition to that, with Levana tokens as well. And so we're excited to be able to offer that, and to really be able to offer all of the people that are excited, almost half a million people that have participated in the testnet within the Sei network, and over 100,000 people that have been testers of the beta version of Sei's testnet of Levana itself.
Yeah, amazing. Sei's one of the biggest launches of 2023. I think this is something that Cryptocito has as his thumbnail on his video, which I think is coming out today. And they just have like all of these players and all of these things like happening all at once. So I was wondering if that was a big contributor for Levana launching on Sei, or what was the reason you decided this was the right chain for you, or the right chain for the application to go live on?
Sure. So one is that we're big fans of the Cosmos SDK, and of the Rust development, Rust software development, and CosmWasm. Second is that we felt that the ecosystem that was around the launch included multiple different AMMs, for just spot trading, for both within both just simple simple network such as Astroport, which and then a few different things that are launching within AMMs. And then there will be other networks such as within different types. Well, there's about 30 different apps that are going to be launched over the first 3 months. So some of that is very exciting for us. And in addition to that, it doesn't require any voting from the network. It's just free for anybody without any permission to be able to deploy a new contract. And we think that that's really part of the innovation that is part of crypto as a whole. And we think that the struggle of having to go through kind of the getting approval, and having having people voting in order to be able to have new applications is a really difficult, and I think risky. It's a risky position. I think that when anybody can just launch a new application, when any entrepreneur or any team can build something and release it without having to get approval, then that's where you end up with the most amount of innovation. And And so really, if you look at where Cosmos is today, there's not really a lot of networks. With Osmosis, you have to get approval, which was a big, uphill battle for Levana in order to get that approval. And there's other networks that are just not interested at all. So being able to just focus on the ecosystem without having to get approval is a huge advantage.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of advantage, I remember seeing like a post saying that a lot of these applications haven't had necessarily audits and stuff like this, but Levana has, right? So this is a great position to be in, like within the applications launching on Sei. So that's super exciting as well. But yeah, I think in terms of time, we're kind of getting to like the half-hour mark, maybe a little bit over. So yeah, I just wanted to like wrap things up a little bit. Obviously, good luck with the launch on Sei today. Hopefully it goes really well, and would be great to see a lot of demand coming for the ETH market for your application. Just want to give you the stage to add any information that you'd like to cover, anything that we've missed. Maybe we haven't talked enough about Sei. Maybe you want to go back to Osmosis, or maybe it's something completely different, like the Levana token. Yeah, just give you maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes if you have anything in particular you want to explain to the people watching.
Well, that's very exciting. So, and I thank you for giving the opportunity to be able to kind of give to give some thoughts. So I'd say that what we're looking for is for people to try out the product, to bridge through Wormhole, Ethereum, ETH through Ethereum, and then to actually try opening up a position and trading. You will eventually, when there is a launch of Levana tokens, you will earn, you'll get rewards from doing that. We also will be airdropping to the to our the communities that played with our GameFi and our NFTs. We'll be creating in the future with we'll be migrating our NFTs, which are currently on Juno, over to Sei, and then using them as part of the like frequent flyer, and like incentives and benefits. And then we're also, encouraging developers that want to review our source code, that want to understand all of our APIs, that want to read our white paper, and just to better understand how we work, what are the unique value propositions that Levana has over other perpetual swaps or leverage platforms, and to join our to join our Discord. And if you are looking for a partnership or a way to be able to help us spread Levana into new ecosystems, there's a lot of opportunity moving forward.
Yeah, really interesting stuff. I'll keep you posted on when this goes out. And for everyone watching, thanks for tuning in. And yeah, I'll leave the socials for Levana down below, so anyone that's watching can get in touch. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much. We'll be in touch.
Definitely.